Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhakti Nastiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रील गुरुदेव की जय निताई गौर प्रेम थैंक यू अगेन अमरीश प्रभु so as discussed, I'm going to discuss about why Krishna consciousness, and probably I'm going to take a different angle than normally we talk about all those material miseries and problems and situations and all those three miseries. So I'm going to take a different angle. And this is when I was studying this verse, chapter 2, verse number 10. And when I read that Krishna actually was smiling at that time, and that inspired me to discuss this verse and different relation from me. So the verse is Tam uvacha rishikesha prahasanna eva bharataha senayora uvayo madhe vishidantam idam vachaha.
Roji, I made you co-host now. Excuse me. You can share the screen now. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Can you see my screen, Prabhu? Yes.
No, we can't see.
Oh. You can see now. Tama uvacha rishikesha प्रहसन्य भारतः सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तम् idam vachaha. Synonyms, translation, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tam, unto him, Uvacha, said, Rishikesha, the master of the senses, Krishna, Prahasan, smiling, Eva, like that, Bharat, O Dhritarashtra, descendants of Bharat, Senayo, of the armies, Ubhayo, of both parties, Madhe, between, Vishidantam, unto the lamenting one, Idam, the following Vacha, words. Unto him said the master of the senses, Krishna, smiling like that, O Dhritarashtra, descendants of Bharat, Sena, of the armies of both the parties, between unto the lamenting one, the following words. Translation. O descendants of Bharat, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of the both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So, as we have discussed and we have heard, Vishnu was sharing this class, that we read a verse and we say, I know it now, that move forward. And we just go into the what is the meaning of those verses, and we try to understand probably superficially. We don't get into the mood and what's happening there. So here, when we are discussing this verse in one of my discussion with someone, then I realized that what actually Krishna was doing and why he was smiling, and what that mean. And then I come across with some verses in Bhagavatam, which I would like to share, that what that smile mean. We want Krishna's smiling face. We are all craving for that. That's what we're after. And that's my relation I'm going to share here. So, O descendants of Bharat, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. There are two situations. Arjuna is grief-stricken and Krishna is not. Krishna is actually smiling. So that shows the conditioning of both both of them. And we all know the background of Bhagavad Gita, that why Arjuna got into that situation where he was grief stricken and he was confused, he was bewildered, he was giving all the knowledge to Krishna that what should I do? This is this is what all the Vedic knowledge, all the references, and then after that time he realized that his senses are not working, and he was grief stricken, and he said, I can't fight this war, and I'm no. Then Krishna started smiling. What that smiling mean? And we have a lot of discussion on this. So I'll try to share of them that, yeah, what that Krishna smiles mean. We all go to temple, we look at Krishna's smiling face, and I always miss out. I don't see a Krishna's face, smiling face, yeah, or a reverence or whatever it is. So we need to understand what is the power of Krishna's smile here, and that's what is the discussion I want to have. Why Krishna consciousness? So this is what we want to do. We all know that Ishopanishad, verse number 15, Hiranyapatena, yeah, that it's not possible to see Krishna's face dazzling for the non-devotees. Okay, well, now Amrish last week just shared one realization that Maharaj said that Prabhupada's purports are better than, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, are better than Vyasdev has written in Bhagavatam. Or yeah, he enjoyed, and that's actually true. Without these purports, I would not have understood whatever little bit I understand. So the purport Prabhupada writes here, which again is very profound. And then we talk about this smiling part. And I would like all of you to ask questions or share your realizations. So the talk was going on between the intimate friends, namely the Rishikesha and the Gudakesha. As friends, both of them were on the same level. But one of them voluntarily became a student of the other. Krishna was smiling because a friend had chosen to become a disciple. As a Lord of all, he is always in the superior position as the master of everyone, and yet the Lord agrees to be a friend, a son, or a lover for a devotee who wants him in such a role. But when he was accepted as a master, he at once assumed the role and talked with the disciple like the master, with gravity required as it is required. It appears that the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies, so that all were benefited. So the talks of the Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society, or community, but they are for all, and they are for all, and friends or enemies are equally entitled to hear them. Very small but very powerful, lot of punches into this. So I'll go back to this again. So Krishna was smiling because a friend had chosen to become a disciple. This looks very simple. Okay, that's okay. What is to discuss about this? So we have a lot of discussion, but my realization was this: when as soon as we realize our position that we are part and parcel of Krishna, we surrender to Krishna, then Krishna is very happy. Then Krishna starts smiling. And that is the reason why Krishna started smiling, that he has understood his constitutional position and now is surrender, and then Krishna takes it over. And there are a lot of other relations can be given on smiling. And some people say that Krishna was sarcastic. That's nonsense. That's not right. Why Krishna will be like this? And then the further discussion, further in the purport, Prabhupada writes, but when he was exiled master, that's what we discussed. It appears the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both the armies, so that all were benefited. So the talks of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society, or community, but they are for all, and friends or enemies are equally entitled to hear them. That is again a powerful, means they were standing between the two armies, and Krishna was giving knowledge. The atmosphere was tense. Conches were blown. The war was to start, and Krishna is smiling. That only Krishna can do it, or Krishna devotee can do it. And then Prabhupada writes that this knowledge between those two armies was happening so that whatever is the situation, this knowledge will benefit you. And that's why whatever Prabhupada has given to us, it is non-sectarian. It is cannot be like this, that is only for this, and Hare Krishna like that, and you are Krishna devotees and you don't understand this. There's a lot of fun fair on Shivratri here. On the street, almost every 300 meter, they got some Shivlinga and everybody was doing Abhishek. There was no milk and curd available in the marketplace at all. And then now today they're all, yeah. So we are not sectarian, we are not like this, we are not like that. Prabhupada says that this knowledge is for everyone. Everybody will be benefited, whatever is constitutional position. But to get the smiling part of Krishna, we have to surrender. And again, only surrender is not enough. That surrender has to be done in a proper way so that Krishna can smile on you. Yeah. Or and so this is what I quickly wanted to share before I move to the next point. That why this smiling is so important for us to surrender and to understand Krishna's mood. And to a grief-stricken person who was bewildered completely, that calm down, don't worry, I am here. That's on a very superficial level, but situation was that a soul is surrendering into Krishna, constitutional position. Now, when I was referring to this further into Bhagavatam, there are a lot of information about Krishna smiling, and I stayed to our initial Canto 3 only. There's a lot of discussion on this, a lot of realization on this. And then this verse came to my reading. And I said, let us share this also with devotees, with our realization. Because that's where Krishna was when Arjun surrendered, then he started smiling. But here there's a different meaning of smiling. And there are others also. There's a lot of situations Krishna actually smiles. And the smile between the devotees or Krishna and devotees go to the highest level of bliss. That also probably I'm not going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about this when actually this Krishna and pure devotee are smiling each other. Yeah. So this verse is Canto 3, chapter 8, verse number 27. मुखेन लोकारितिहरस्मितेन परिस्फुरत्कुण्डलमण्डितेन शोणायितेनाधरबिम्बभासा प्रत्यर्हन्तं सुनसेन सुब्रवा मुखेन लोकारितिहरस्मितेन परिस्फुरत्कुण्डलमण्डितेन शोणायितेनाधरबिम्बभासा प्रत्याहर्यन्तं सुनसेन सुब्रवा. Synonyms. Mukhena, by the gesture of the face. Loka arti hara, vanquisher of the distress of the devotees. Smitena, by smiling. Parisfurat, dazzling. Kundala, earrings. Manditena, decorated with. Shona itena, acknowledging. Adhara, of his lips. Bimba, reflection. Bhasa, praise. Pratyahariyantam, pratyarhayantam, reciprocating. Sunasena, by his pleasing nose. Subhrava, and pleasing eyebrows. By a gesture of the face, vanquisher of the distress of the devotees, by smiling, dazzling, earrings decorated with acknowledging of his lips, reflection, rays reciprocating by his pleasing nose and pleasing eyebrows. So this is the prayer which Brahma is singing when he appeared from, when his appearance happened, and after he did his tapasya, the tap, and then he started sharing his realization. And that's the background when Brahma is praying about this prayer. So he says, he also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. So that was what was happening in that battlefield. He also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. And then Arjuna was taken, that's what Krishna did. And that's what we also tend to do if we love someone. The reflection of his face, decorated with earrings, was so pleasing because it's dazzled with the rays from his lips and the beauty of his nose and eyebrows. So this part I don't understand much, but I do. So I'm going to share on that first part. He's also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquish their distress by his beautiful smile. And very small but solid purport written by Srila Prabhupada. Devotional service of the Lord is very much obliging to him. The point to ponder. Devotional service to the Lord is very much obliging to him. There are many transcendentalists in different fields of spiritual activities, but devotional service to the Lord is unique. Devotees do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. Even the most desirable liberation is refused by devotees, although offered by the Lord. Thus, the Lord becomes a kind of debtor to the devotees, and he can only try to repay the devotee's service with his ever-enchanting smile. The devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord, and they become enlivened. And by seeing the devotees so enlivened, the Lord himself is further satisfied. So there is continuous transcendental competition with the Lord and his devotees by such reciprocation of service and acknowledgement. There, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this is the purport, and we can finish the class. But I'll try to share my relation. So that is Krishna's reciprocation with pure devotees, not with everyone, because we are all trying to be devotees. At least I'm trying to be devotees, and we try to understand the mood and that why Krishna consciousness. And at different levels of our understanding, our reason for Krishna consciousness changes. That's my legend. Because we talk to somebody new, we talk to someone who is probably practicing Krishna consciousness, or talk to someone who is practicing Krishna consciousness in a way they think that this is a better way. So I'll go back to this purport and we'll try to go through those punchlines. The devotional service to the Lord is very much obliging to him. Means that is what Krishna will reciprocate if we do in that mood. And that is the difference which Srila Prabhupada has highlighted, that bhakti is all about service. It has nothing to do with how much you understand, how much you know, how many flowers you have got, how can you decorate, and whatever in that regard. If there is no service, there is no bhakti. And that service has to be also done as per the mood of to whom we are serving. And that attracts Krishna. And that's when Krishna starts smiling. And that is the reason for why we're in Krishna consciousness. What keeps us going? In spite of so many challenges, those three miseries we come across, we talk to them, it means everybody is suffering. But the devotees keep going, they don't suffer. The devotional service, Prabhupada said, this is the most important thing somebody has to do if they want to understand or want to feel this smile of Krishna consciousness. And I'm sure devotees, when they see the spiritual master smiling, they have the same feeling. I remember Maharaj, when Maharaj would smile or laugh, we'll just get, I don't know, we'll just go to a different world. And it's actually very hard to smile in that way. And that's why Maharaj's name was like that. So, but to get that feeling, this is what Prabhupada highlights. This is what Prabhupada is saying here in the first thing that, okay, you want to get there, you want to understand, and that's why we are in Krishna consciousness. Then further Prabhupada writes, there are many transcendentalists in different fields of spiritual activities, but devotional service to the Lord is unique. Without devotional service, whatever we are doing, whatever someone is doing, like, yeah, there's so many activities up here. So this smile cannot be understood. I asked when we were discussing this with devotees here, we asked, have you felt that Krishna is smiling at you? And believe me, nobody has actually, yes, they can imagine, they can talk, but Krishna's smile is probably when we go to temple or we look at the deity, and the smile part doesn't come to. This is what was shared. Okay, so that's the problem. If there is no devotional service, the smile will never manifest. Even if Krishna is smiling, we will not understand it. That's Prabhupada is very clear. Then further Prabhupada emphasized the point, devotees do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. That is a mood. I remember Maharaj would say, you should do the service in a way that nobody notices you in the temple. Okay, Maharaj, that's great. Yeah, but we want to be noticed. We want to be recognized. And if people don't recognize, then we don't get what we want from that activity. So somebody shared to me this realization means as I said means uh, somebody was telling me sharing the example of Ayodhya temple just very recently. The husband and wife went to temple. Husband gives 500 note. He is given prasadam, and wife just follows him. She's not given prasad. And that's so common here. So the pure devotees who are actually engaged or who understand this, they do this service not expecting anything. And I was discussing with someone yesterday that probably it's easier to understand Krishna's mood, but it's very hard to understand the devotee's mood. Prabhupada also writes this realization. So that's the tricky part of it. How do we get there? How do we understand why we are in Krishna consciousness? What we want out of this? We are all looking for that place. We all want to go back to Godhead. We all are trying to practice. We don't want birth again, Prabhu, and all that. But this is what Prabhupada is instructing through the smiling part. So devotees do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. Even the most desirable liberation refused by devotees, although offered by the Lord. This we have come across with discussion that pure devotees only want to serve them, serve Krishna. They don't want to get merged. They don't want to go to Vaikuntha. They don't want to do anything. They just want to serve. And these devotees do this only for the smile of Krishna. That's my relation. They want to make Krishna happy. And when we get to this situation, then how Krishna is reciprocating, that's probably coming the next part. So even the most desirable liberation is refused by devotees, although offered by the Lord. This is so hard to understand. Thus, the Lord becomes a kind of debtor to the devotees, and he can only try to repay the devotees' service by his ever-chanting smile. Can you imagine who has got 6 opulences become a debtor? These are Prabhupada's words. So that is the mood. I don't know, we should understand or we should try to understand. But that's at the highest level of bhakti. When pure devotee and Krishna is reciprocating, it's only for us, it's only information. At least for me. Thus, the Lord becomes a kind of debtor to the devotees, and he can only try to repay the devotee's service with his ever-chatic smile. Imagine this. And devotees also don't want, and Krishna also don't want anything. And they are smiling at each other. So the 210 which I was referring to started with grief stricken. That's our situation. That's my situation. We are all grief-stricken. We are in a material world. We are surrounded by all those threefold miseries. We are in the material world. We are fighting for survival. And we think that whatever most of the people are doing, that's right. That's how it is. And then we miss out this point. And then we don't, that thought of Krishna smiling never come to our heart. And then to make it harder, Prabhupada says that unless you engage in a devotional service in a bona fide way, it's not bhakti even. So for people like me to be in Krishna consciousness, we need to find, as we have discussed before, what is in it for me, why I'm doing this. And if we know why we are doing it, then probably we get inspired to do it more. And we try to find time, we try to take those risks, we try to bend, we try to accommodate, we do, yeah. So that inspiration is this part, that Krishna can become a debtor. This is highest level, but I thought I must share this. And the devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord and they become enlivened. So this feeling, this exchange of smile goes on between devotee and Krishna, or a disciple and a spiritual master. And I was talking to devotees. We have been discussing this verse quite recently here with devotees here. That have you experienced somebody smiling at you and you smiling at them? The relationship, the purity, not that salesman smile, and then we also smile, that all the drama, but the true feeling of exchange of smiles that happens with the lovebirds, can happen, sorry, that happens with mother and children or child, or any friends or anybody else. But that if the purity of smile is there, we don't need to even talk. We just feel it and we're satisfied. And further, you don't want to stop smiling. But the material world comes in the middle. So this is a point to ponder, that this is Prabhupada is writing, and I'm trying to share with my limited capacity and give an example of Arjuna's situation, where Arjuna was confused, bewildered, said, I'm going back to forest, I'm not going to fight, in spite of knowing the background, because he was at bodily recognition, bodily level of understanding that I'm this body and not this soul. So all those knowledge is like this. And then Krishna has to preach him Bhagavad Gita so that he can understand his constitutional position and start performing his duties. So that smiling part, if you can remember that smiling part, then that will keep us going in Krishna, that taste that will keep going. And for to get to that table, we have to follow the process. It's not that with our whimsical mind, we have concocted ideas. Yeah, devotees talk to me a lot of things. They start crying also. I said, when you see Krishna, we start crying also. I said, okay. But when I talk to them more and we get into this, that, yeah, the sense control, paramount, that sense control, are you able to control your senses? If your senses are not in control, then this is a mental level. That's because without controlling the senses, you cannot feel it. And to get that senses under control, we have to follow the process what Prabhupada is very briefly writing in his purport. So the devotees are ever smiled by the smiling face of the Lord, and they become enlivened. And by seeing the devotee so enlivened, the Lord himself is further satisfied. So that's a reciprocation happening between Lord and a devotee, which was not happening in the battlefield when Arjuna forgot to smile because he lost his constitutional position, that what he is, why he is here, what is this, in spite of being so close to Krishna. That is material world. And that's exactly what happens to us, that we forget to smile. And if I start talking about the benefit of smile, that how our health will improve his smile, if you start smiling, what kind of neurochemicals start happening, that's a different subject matter. So by following the process of Krishna consciousness and realizing these kind of things, the material things is automatically taken care. That's what we share with devotees all the time. So there is continuous transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotees by such reciprocation of service and acknowledgement. This goes on. Between Lord and his devotees. And for us to get to that level or to understand these kind of situations, we can only fathom, we can only imagine. But at least we know what it is. At least we understand, and whenever we are seriously chanting or reading some books or doing some devotional activity, this bliss part, of course, comes to our consciousness, and that keeps us going. So I would like all of you, before I go further into this or keep preaching or I want all of you to share your relations, or somebody want to share relation or ask question. The verse is, in the meantime, I'll read the verse so that you can think about your question. Mukhena lokariti smitena parispurat kundala manditena sonaitenda dharabimba bhasa Pratyaharyantam sunasena subhava. He also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. The reflection of his face, decorated with earrings, was so pleasing because it dazzled with the rays from his lips and the beauty of his nose and eyebrows. So I have not finished. I can continue because there's more into this. But I want all of us to meditate on this and experience or feel and ask question before, because we are discussing in the last two classes on Wednesday with our devotees that knowledge is not our problem. When I started asking the question that what little things you are doing to improve your bhakti, or in fact, we started discussing with this realization that what we can do so that you can realize more, so that you can practice more Krishna consciousness. And believe me, 7 or 8 of them were there, and devotees are here, they will probably agree with this, that nobody of them asked that I don't have knowledge. They all said that my job is a problem, my study is a problem, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, and so everybody was struggling in the material world to be able to do activity of this Krishna consciousness, what we're discussing. So then I asked, so you don't need knowledge. We all know we have knowledge, but we are not able to practice this knowledge. And to practice this knowledge, unless we practice this knowledge, we cannot experience this smile part of it or the ultimate part of it. When we're exchanging smile with Krishna or a pure devotee. When I see, I've got Prabhupada's photograph, when I see Prabhupada smiling, so our problem is not knowledge. Knowledge is everywhere. I will share that relation also. Pradyumna Prabhu and me were discussing yesterday that we are having preaching and those devotees asking so many questions. Those new people asking so many questions. I said they can go Google and YouTube and get the answers. That's what I've learned from Amrish Prabhu, that they have to qualify to get the answer. at least one-on-one. And nobody want to listen, nobody want to take knowledge. They want to give knowledge. I know it all. I'm okay, Prabhu. Don't worry. In spite of having those knowledge. So knowledge is not a problem. That's my relation in last 2 weeks. Knowledge is not a problem. Problem is we are not able to apply that knowledge. So if anybody want to share their relation or ask about Krishna smile, because a lot of kundal and leaps and all those, I studied that those thing also, but I don't think that's appropriate to discuss those kind of things here. So anybody has got any question or realization? So that they can smile or we can smile. So when I meet all of you, you all are smiling because you're not asking questions. Correct? Okay. I think our situation is more relevant to 210 than the other words in Bhagavatam. That's good to have that knowledge, but we are struggling to studying the material world as Arjuna was struggling, and that's why that's why the entire Bhagavad Gita was sung. So, O descendant of Bharat, at that time Krishna smiling in the midst of both the armies spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. That's us. We're all grief-stricken. Whether we like it or not, we're all in trouble. So, this is where, in spite of all those situations, Arjun was not able to smile and Krishna was smiling. And what happens when we all start smiling? So that's where we have to look inside us, and that's where we have to realize that why we are not smile, so that we can actually engage with Krishna conscious activity, or we can engage with Krishna smiling. That's highest level. There is another verse which probably devotees will study when they study Ishopnishad, mantra number 15, where it is shared that why devotees are not able to actually, the Prabhupada writes here, why devotees are not able to actually look at Krishna's face, why it is so hard to smile, or why it is so hard to actually find out our situation. So I'll read that verse also while we are all thinking, because we are talking about Krishna's smiling face, and we are talking to understand our confusion question, or we want more knowledge, more information. I'll just quickly open that verse. हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यास्थापितं मुखं तत् त्वं पुषन् अपारुणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यासु शापिहितं मुखं तत् त्वं पूषण अपारुणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये. O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotees. That's the stage I was referring to. That is a prayer by a pure devotee. That, O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling Your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. And that what is that dazzling face? We have all studied that the dazzling face is basically Krishna's Brahma Jyoti. And in 1427 Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says and Prabhupada translate, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitution position of the ultimate happiness. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan are the three aspects of the same absolute truth. Yeah, the verse is like this. Brahmano hi aparisthaham amrita swaya vasya cha sasvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya kanti kasya cha. So, getting rid of that impersonal form of Krishna or that Brahma Jyoti, that's where the entire world is actually struggling. That's the difference that they cannot see Krishna's face. And the pure devotee is praying that how I can see your face, remove that dazzling thing. And that Brahma Jyoti, which is source of everything, which is everywhere, it is so dazzling, means it is 1,000 times more effulgent than the sun. That's what I remember. So when we cannot look at sun, how we can look at Brahma Jyoti? And unless Krishna remove that realization of Brahma Jyoti, how we can understand Krishna's face? And that is the struggle we all have in our own day-to-day situation, that we don't believe that Krishna is a person and Krishna is like this and Krishna is like that, and Krishna has got two hands. That's so hard to have relation because of this Brahma Jyoti. And this, because of this realization, because of this Brahman Jyoti's effulgence, we cannot say Krishna's face. And we then, when we cannot say Krishna's face, how can we see Krishna's smiling face? So how, the question is that how do we get that out, that Brahma Jyoti? Means it's very simple to talk about these things, particularly when we study Bhagavad Gita all over the place. And yeah, we give knowledge to everyone. Yeah, at least me. But when push comes to shove, it actually becomes very hard to practice those kind of things. And it becomes harder to actually get out of that consciousness where we can actually uh, realize Krishna's face. And but that keeps me going, that why we should keep doing it. And the only process is devotional activity or devotional service. And that's why to get to be in Krishna consciousness, it's very important that we find, and devotional service, there are 9 processes, this, that, and all those, a lot of information, and a lot of devotees are doing in a different way. But how do we find which we can do it every day? We can do it consistently, and we can actually do it in a manner which is approved by our disciplic succession, not whimsically done. And yesterday also, we keep repeating the same point, that consistency is the mother of success. If you're consistent, we are doing it. We are actually making progress. It uh, may not actually look like that, because the material world will not understand that what have you achieved, what have you got, how much you have got. And that same consciousness, because we are surrounded by those kind of people, we go with them, we talk to them, we work with them, we engage with them, and then we want to do this devotional service. So that's what the experience I'm having when we talk to devotees here, that how do we do that devotional activity in a manner so that we can do it regularly, consistently. So that's why these programs, that's why these classes, that's why this knowledge sharing, that's why this interaction, that's why this platform, so that we can remain engaged, we can actually have that experience of Krishna's smiling face. I think smiling face is the highest level, if I'm not wrong. Smiling face is beyond my imagination. But this came to my study, and we have been recently talking about this. I said I must share with other devotees also that how we get there or what keeps you going and what we can do. So this Hiranmatya Pratena is our real struggle. And how we come out of this, that's our own battle. And the battle is not with anybody else. The battle is with ourselves. What we have done today, what we can do today, and how we can do it, and what we should not do today, that is every moment, everywhere. So Krishna consciousness is very simple. Krishna is very simple. We just read that Krishna exactly, he's debtor. He says, I can't give anything more. I owe you. And then we have got our own situation. We get into discussion and we give our arguments and we give our realizations and we have challenges. Yeah. So this is what I realized. I thought I'll share my realization, which I'm actually practicing, trying to practice with all of you. And yeah, if you can ask me questions, otherwise I keep referring more verses. So that's not what I want to do. So anybody has got any question about what we discussed about 210 or that other was from chapter Canto 8, chapter 8, verse number 27.
Hare Krishna, Avinash Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you just stop the share, Prabhuji? Can you share?
Yes, sure. Yeah. I was going to recite this verse. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, okay. So thank you very much for your nice realizations and for your points, about why Krishna smiled. And it's a very important point why Krishna smiled. So which you covered some points here very nicely. Thank you very much. And we hope and pray that we all can smile when seeing Krishna smiling. That is our constitutional position. Okay. I would encourage our devotees now, if they want to share their realizations or ask questions, now is the time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Please, you can share if you want to. It's up to you, Prabhuji. No problem.
Yeah, whatever that can keep us going, because whatever we are doing, my experience is that it's not easy to do. Particularly when we see so much funfair all around us, so many activities, so many things happening. How do we maintain our purity? How do we actually stick to the real goal? How we remain focused on Krishna consciousness is so hard. I know in India it is harder. I'll share my relation again. Means when evening comes here, means I was sharing with my devotees, but I will share with you. In New Zealand, the work time is from 8 to 5. By 5, 6 o'clock, you're home. Yeah, unless you're working the shift. So you can do a Mangal Aarti or Mangal Aarti or evening Aarti. Here the day started 11 o'clock. And actual day start at 6 p.m. Nobody is coming back home. And when you go on the street, everything, all the lights go on. It's so nice. It's spiritual world out there. So it becomes harder for me to come back home and do my evening aarti because everybody is working late. Everybody is coming home late. And when you come home, we have to go out to do other things. I have never experienced this in New Zealand, but I experienced in India. I find very hard to do my chanting even. So in that atmosphere, yes, but a lot of opportunity here and a lot of good people here, which keep you engaged. A lot of questions, and you get good association. And the socio-economic culture is much better than the Western world. Yeah, there's still a lot of family things happening here. lot of religious activities here at whatever level. So for us to remain focused in Krishna consciousness at whatever level we have got, we have to have something which keeps us going on those little steps, little wins every day. And if you can ask any question, which either I'll try to answer or Amrish can answer or a devotee can answer. Really, Pradhan.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, bro, for this class. Thank you, Amrish. So I had one question. In the purport, Prabhupada is writing Krishna was smiling because a friend has chosen to become a disciple. So my question was, is becoming a disciple more important than becoming friend? Because in friendship we have more intimate relation. So I didn't understand this part.
Yes. Very good question. Yeah. Before we surrender to someone, we develop a relationship. You don't go and surrender to someone just blindly. That relationship can be as a friend, as a servant, or as a son, or as a lover, or whatever. But unless we get that surrender, that knowledge will not come. So all that's why we encourage all of you to read those books before you surrender. Don't surrender. Prabhupada said, don't surrender your intelligence. I think Maharaj said. Yeah. So surrender intelligently. Am I clear, Pradhu? समझ में आया?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Amrish, you can correct me if I'm or add to this.
No, no, very nice. That's right. Because till the time Arjuna was giving knowledge to Krishna. So this point in time he surrendered. So now Krishna is smiling. That's it. Let us talk to everybody. So it's correct. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
बोलिए ओम प्रभु हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for this session. Thank you, Amrish, Prabhu, for this class. Prabhuji, my question was that you said we need to find that one thing that keeps us going in bhakti and may, make our bhakti consistent. So the devotees in the last verse, it is said in purport that devotees don't even want the most desirable liberation. So, what keeps them going? Like, uh, because we all want like the aim is going back to Godhead. So devotees, pure devotees, don't even want that. So how we can keep going that if the stage is we they don't even accept liberation. So how they will serve Krishna in other way? I mean,
Yeah,
not going back to Godhead.
yeah, good question. So that realization that which you're talking about, it doesn't come easily. Our problem is that how do we get food on our table? How do we get a job? How do we streamline our life so that we can do bhakti? That's the problem we are in facing at the moment. So this situation with that situation, not same situation. There are two situations. When you become a devotee, when you purify your bhakti, then those relations will come. Okay, you don't want to do this. It doesn't mean that you don't stop doing your duty. Correct. So there are two situations. You cannot compare those two situations. So as we say, discuss that it's based on time, place, and circumstances. You have, like for you, for example, how can I do my 16 hour of chanting every day? Because you're trying to purify your existence. How can I do my Mangal Aarti every day? How can I find a job so that I don't have to go and live in a place so that I stop doing my. That the issues youths are facing, correct, Prabhu? So that's where you have to find something will keep you focused on Krishna consciousness so that you can practice Krishna consciousness. Purify our existence. And we start purifying, then all the relations will start coming. Oh, Krishna, I don't, when you have that one-on-one relation. So we are into Brahma Jyoti kind of situation. Effulgence, no? We can't see Krishna. Yes? We're like Krishna, looking at Krishna is looking at sun. So we know Krishna dikhi nahi, we can't see even. Right? So yeah, there are two different situations. And you understand? Oh? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think we should conclude now. We
Yes,
are
Prabhu.
just about this now.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Just 1 second, Prabhuji. Excuse me. Okay, thank you very much, Avinash Prabhu, for your nice realizations and thought-provoking class. I remember many years ago, I don't know if you remember, we had this discussion, we had this discussion in our program, on Saturday program, Saturday Namata in our home, Krishna's Palayam, the same verse that we had. So I'm very happy you took this verse today, It reminded me of our discussion there. So I remember we had a guest come and he had raised this question, So I wanted to share that point with everyone. So very nice. All the best to you. All the best for your teaching programs. Hare Krishna. I'm sure Srila Gurudev Srila Prabhupada will be very pleased with all our efforts, your team's efforts also. So with this now, I think we conclude today's program. And those who are with us online on YouTube, please don't go away because we'll be back with our beginners level program now in 30 seconds.